This review covers the 1981 Camaro Z28. It's a 125 scale kit from Revell, number 14526. That's a skill level 4, and it's for ages 10 and up. Now, the 1981 model year marked last year for the second generation Camaro, and Chevy sold a respectable 43,200 units of the Z28s that year. It was the first Gen 2 Camaro to feature a command control computer, and they came with either a 305 or a 350 V8. This kit was re-released in 2022, and it's what I'd call a transition kit. There's 37 parts molded in white and clear, and the tires are two-piece solid plastic, which require painting. Now, I think the level 4 rating is a little much. I'd say it's closer to a 3 because it's a simple snap kit with only 37 parts, but there's two ways to go. If you don't use the small decals, it's closer to a 2+ skill level kit. When it's completed, it measures about 8 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 2 inches high. Here are the contents of the kit. The parts are pretty well kept. There's minimal parting lines and flash, and the window glass is still nice and clear. It's a single build kit with no leftover parts. It's just used to make the Z28. And this kit's been used as the basis for other Camaros and Trans Ams, and so there's not a lot of details that are correct for the 1981 Z28. Nonetheless, it makes for a nice transition kit. Now, the dash is not quite correct, and the engine proportions are a bit off for a small block Chevy. Here are the decals for the kit. They're very colorful, and the register is good. All those thin lines come out in the right place. And as you can see, there's enough there to match any custom or factory color that came out in the 81 Z28. There's some script on the front part of the chassis here that marks the original release of the second gen 81 kit back in 1981. It can be scraped off and smoothed over for a nice clean look. You'll find the mandatory parting lines on the upper fenders and then down around the ridges there that can easily be removed with a sanding file or some sandpaper. And here you see that most all of the parts have been painted, and even some of the detail painting. The tires have been scraped for the sidewall script. The engine plates are they're a bright blue, and the car itself I painted a dark maroon mix with some other colors, and that'll be described in the text here. Now, I had also glued the front and rear bumpers into place, and I used a little glue to make sure that it was removing any gaps there, and I put that all together before I painted the body along with the scoops and mirrors. And having those bumpers in place doesn't hinder putting the body on the chassis, but it makes for a nicer overall paint job. Here you can see the aluminum tank with the black straps, and of course the aluminum mufflers, steel pipes, and the transmission is kind of silver color. Detailing for the engine brings it out. Obviously it's not really detailed, but as you can see here, the upper and lower plates are put together, and they make for a nice representation of the engine. On a snap kit like this, a little detailing goes a long way. Now, as you can see, the suspension pieces have been put into place. They're basically semi-gloss black along with the drive shaft, but the springs are painted a steel color. And now, of course, the tires there looking pretty nice, having been painted and scraped so that you can see the script. Also, the wheels, you know, they have some nice black inserts. That was a pretty sharp looking wheel back in the day, just as it is here now. We're going to be augmenting the kit's look with some aftermarket images from Best Model Car Parts. Both the plates and the gauges are a little more visible and noticeable than the decals that come in the kit. So we're going to add those into place. And here you can see what I mean. The images that are placed in there are really nicely defined. You can see them right through the windows. They add a little more refinement to the dashboard. And you can get those from Best Model Car Parts on eBay if you want to look for them. And we're going to, as you see here, get to the rest of the interior. We're going to add some vinyl seats. And these are colored vinyl seats. They've been painted, and they are two-piece, so you'll assemble those and then install them into the interior, along with the steering wheel and dash and the console parts there, the shifter, etc. And you can also see some of the detailing inside the side walls with the flat black appointments. And we've added, of course, the interior to the chassis and the snap the wheels into place on the spindles as well. Now here you're taking a look at, of course, the body and the window glass. It goes in as one piece from the inside of the car, and the T-tops were sprayed with some clear and black for a little translucence. And I found it odd that that a snap kit had a skill level 4 until it came time for the decals. And you'll see that those small decals can be very challenging for a youngster to apply. Even somebody who's doesn't have 20/20 vision. So the big ones go on easier, and if you want to have a trouble-free, simple to assemble kit like a transition kit, just maybe leave the small decals off. And with the hood in place, as you see here, it's not exactly the best fit. You may need to do a little unwarping there to get that to fit and make sure that the edges are clean for a really good fit for that hood. But with that said, your model is complete. As I mentioned, there's no extra parts. You have a lot of extra decals, but for the most part, this is what your model kit is going to look like when it's finished. Well, there you have it. This nice looking kit represents the old 1981Z, and it was a looker. And if you want to build one of these with a child, you can make up your mind if you want to just have them build it. I would leave off the very small decals. Or if you're just looking for a slump buster, this is a pretty simple kit to put together. You can make it look great with a little bit of detailing. And so if I were you, I'd buy one and put it on my shelf.
Thanks for joining us at Right On Replicas, where we're proud to bring you the best scale model kit reviews on the planet.
This review is brought to you in part by Ryder's Hobby Shops, where the fun begins. Stop in to one of Ryder's 2 convenient Michigan locations where you'll find a full range of the latest hobby products, supplies, parts, tools, and paint. You'll find aisles and aisles of scale model kits, RC models, model rockets, Warhammer gaming, and railroading products. Stop in at Ryder's today and tell them Doug sent you.